Alright folks, Vitek here from Wani, and with us today we have one and only Henri Sattler of God Dethroned. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me on the show.
Man, the next phase of God Dethroned is, gonna be unleashed on the World Ablaze. I'm sure you must be super stoked.
Yeah, definitely. It's been 7 years since we did our last album.
Right.
We had a break. We had a break for 3 years. And we came back early 2015 on the 70 Tons of Metal cruise.
Yep.
And we've played many festivals ever since and many club shows. And yeah, it was time to do a new album. So we started writing last year, by the end of last year. Recorded the new album, and it's going to be out on May 5th through Metal Blade Records. It's called The World Ablaze.
That's right. I heard the record. I mean, all I can say is it's that crafted piece of death metal gem that has to be heard by every damn death metal fan this year.
I totally agree. Yeah, I mean, we had some time off, so I had some time to reflect on my own songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
And when I compared the new album to the previous one, Under the Sign of the Iron Cross,
right.
That album was really fast and really aggressive. A great album, but when you play live and you play a lot of songs that are only fast and aggressive, that at a certain point the audience is like, what the fuck? They can't do anything anymore. They're exhausted from being in a slamming pit. They can't bang their head so fast, so it tends to get a little bit boring. So we wanted to write an album this time that's more dynamic, has more diversity, and is more suitable for a live situation.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot of variety on the album. We have the fast and brutal stuff, but it's combined with mid-tempo parts. It's combined with headbang stuff. There's some more mid-tempo paced songs, even some slower songs
right.
with more atmospheric parts in it. So there's a little bit for everybody. And at the same time, the album is an overview of all the years of God Dethroned.
Right.
Some of the riffs will remind you of the early days. Some riffs will remind you of the middle era, and some songs sound more like the later albums. So I think it's a good overview of what God Dethroned is capable of.
That's really good to hear. Like you said, there's diversity on this record. You have the killer atmospheric, A Call to Arms, which starts this entire battle. You have the melodic, and exotic atmospheric tunes like On the Wrong Side of the Wire and Beat Even the 11th Hour. And then you got brutality in the form of the Close to Victory. There's a lot of variation, like you said. So I assume this is the conscious decision to make sure that, you want to, obviously it's in death metal, you can do much more than that. And you guys have explored here as well. So was it more of an intention to not only keep your fans, existing fans happy, but also to get new fans who want some diversity in death metal?
Well, first of all, when I write new songs, I write them because I like them.
True.
I have my typical style of writing guitar riffs. I have my typical timing in my songs. And when I write something that I really like, then of course I hope that our fans will like it. Mm-hmm. But it's usually the case. When you write something you love yourself, then there's usually a lot of other people who love it too.
Right.
Of course, it's always a worry. There's always a worry if you write a new album. Will it be good enough? Will it be accepted by the fans? Of course. But if you're not happy about it yourself, then how can somebody else be happy about it? So, and I am very happy with the new album. I think it's really good. And that's why I'm confident that our fans will not be disappointed with this one.
Awesome, man. In fact, to be honest with you, having heard your records over the last 1 decade continuously, and you never had that moment where I felt God Dethroned have disappointed. So when I was thinking of this 7-year gap, to be honest with you, I was just thinking, would this be that one bad album of God Dethroned? Would this be that album where I need to find that production or a mixing mistake, or let's say something that is out of key, but there's nothing. Yeah. There's nothing at all. I mean, it's you guys are back, and it's that brutality in the form of music, and I got to give kudos to you and the entire band for exceeding the expectations and also keeping yourself happy.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, but I know what you mean. It was my biggest fear for myself that I would do an album and that maybe I lost touch with what it should be like, you know. So what we did, we went into the studio like a year and a half ago just to record some songs, just to see what came out. And we came back home and we were so disappointed about the quality of the material. We threw it away immediately. But then again, after a while, our booking agent said, man, you have to come up with a new album, because if you want to go on touring, you need a new album. Right. So we said, okay, let's do it. So I phoned Metal Blade and they said, yeah, no problem, you can do a new album. And this is the deadline. It was like, holy crap, we have to hurry. So when the pressure was full on the band, then all of a sudden, all my creativity came back, and the ideas started to flow. And it only took me a few months to finalize the whole album. So I already knew this from the past, but now I know it again, that I work best under pressure. Right. This is the recipe for a good God Dethroned album.
Definitely, man. I mean, the album has high dynamic range. I mean, it makes the instrument apart from each other, and the sound is very spaced, uncompressed compared to some of the previous records. Was this something to do with Dan Swano, the legendary Dan Swano, with this sort of an approach?
Yeah. Dan and I, we are about the same age. We both are musicians.
And you both
Yeah, we're both from the death metal side, and he knows exactly what I like, and I like his style. So we didn't have to say much. I just sent him the songs, and I said, well, if you want, I have demo tracks where I have certain balances of melodies and guitars. He said, no, I don't need it. And then he gave me a mix, and it was like perfect. Almost everything was perfect the first time, because he knows how it should sound.
Right.
He knows how the balance between the instruments should be. And it was really a relief to work with a guy like this. And when we were finished, he told me, he said, man, this was so easy. We have to do it again in the future. And I said, yeah, sure, man. Let's work again. I mean, he is a great guy. He understands me and our music, and I understand him and his way of working. So it was like a perfect marriage almost.
Awesome, man.
And then afterwards, we went to the Wisseloord Studios in Holland for the mastering. And you may never have heard about the Wisseloord Studios, but it's a very old studio, but it's got high-end mastering people there. Some people have won about 3 Grammys for their mastering work. Wow. They did mastering for Within Temptation, for Rammstein, and bands like that. And now they did a mastering for us too. And that's where the icing got put on the cake.
Right.
That's where it was made completely perfect.
Awesome, man. That sounds really great. And obviously your growls sound as good as ever, and the tuning of your guitars kind of remind me of the Ravenous era, providing that good amount of distortion and pedal work. And with you and Vanderplyte as well, you guys are stealing the show by definitely, just pounding the skins and plates like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, well, that's how it should be. I mean, it's really true. We play like there is no tomorrow. If you look at the computer screen when I record my guitars, the graphics are all over the place, meaning that I'm not politely playing my guitar. I'm scrubbing my guitar like it should be destroyed today.
Right.
And you can hear that. If you play nicely, you can hear that. If you play like the guitar has to be destroyed, you can also hear that. So when you say it sounds like we played like there's no tomorrow, well, that's exactly what we did.
It's really cool to hear. You added some sorrowful and some dense bits as well in the form of Nonnispurg or even Escape Across the Ice that kind of take care of the emotional side of it by telling the sad and the ominous story of the White Army, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
Yeah, so you got some cool stuff out there, and I want to talk about the tracks in general. It kind of reminded me of the Shakespearean pieces of art, and this sort of that vibe. What was the point of getting more into the sorrowful, the dark side of it by talking about the White Army?
Actually, that song, it was created by accident almost. We had some riffs, and we said to each other in the rehearsal room, this is not our stuff. This is so different from what we usually do. Right. It will probably not work, but we were like, but we have to try. So we recorded the song, and we thought it would be the disappointment song for most people on the album. Mm-hmm. But in the end, it turned out that from the band's point of view, it's one of our favorite songs, because the atmosphere is so great that yeah, it's just a big success from the point of view of songwriting. And also, many journalists have told us that they were surprised about the song in a very good way. They thought it was a very, very good song.
Right.
But it was never intended to be on the album. It was so different from us that we thought, like, nah, this cannot be right. But we did it anyway, because sometimes you want to try the unexplainable. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we recorded it anyway, and yeah, it turned out great, I think.
That's right. If you had to kind of look at this, situation that a lot of people appreciate the German thrash, or let me say the European thrash metal bands, European death metal bands, as compared to States. I'm talking about Americans here. What, according to you, you feel the difference is there? Is that the death metal scene and thrash metal scene in State is saturated to a point where fans want to go into the European side and explore more?
Well, you probably know better if that's the case than me, but one thing's for sure. You can tell there's a huge difference between US thrash and death metal compared to European thrash and death metal. The styles are so completely far apart from each other. And then even within Europe, there's a style that varies from country to country. So the cultural differences are big anyway. But I don't know how much the American folks are into the European stuff. But if it works the same like it works here, then it is a case. Because in Europe, many people are looking forward to see the US bands again, because they bring something different than what they're used to here. So I guess it's vice versa. I guess everybody is interested in something from far away because it's more exotic and it's something special compared to what they're used to.
Henri, if you had to, let's say, sum up the record, the World Ablaze, in a sentence, what would you say?
Well, it's the final piece of the World War I trilogy. It's probably got the best production we ever had so far. It's the most dynamic album we had, well, maybe so far. It's an album for everybody, and you don't have to be a 200% death metal freak to enjoy our album. It's got great guitar solos. If you're into Iron Maiden solos, you will find them on the album. If you're into atmospheric stuff, there's also something for you. Our band name may suggest that we're a very brutal and extreme band, but if you would check us out, you would notice that we have a lot in store for everybody.
Fantastic, Henri. Henri, have a wonderful evening ahead, and I look forward to catch you guys in Europe someday.
Yeah, man. Thanks for the interview, and it was nice talking to you.
Same here, man. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.